kind of carrot gold. Go ahead and fire it up.
Sure.
Okay.
We're now live. People give him a sound check, video and audio check,
She didn't
please.
tell me.
Hello, hello.
Wage slave depends on what carrot gold.
Anywhere you can buy 10 or 12 or 14 or 8 or 24. Depends on what you want.
Anyhow. So,
Oh, and occasionally 8.
Brian will be back. I want to talk to him.
Hi, David.
Buenas tardes, David. Thank you, Douglas. Okay, so as you can see, I got some experiments done last week. And the big news is that tomorrow I have a visitor from well, he's not from Central America, but he is coming from Central America. And he is going to bring with him samples, lots of weight of samples. We can do all kinds of fun things. We have 3 basic samples. We have one sample of what I'll call depleted mill sulfides, i.e., once they've done the processing with the mill, you effectively wind up with 3 products at this time. You have tailings, you have depleted sulfides, and you have gold that they have smelted from the gold recovered from the sulfates by gravity separation. And the question is, how much gold is in the depleted sulfides and what's the best way to get it out? That's my job. Been very frustrating because I haven't had a sample to test. But anyhow, I got a small sample out of last week's panning and roasting, etc. And tomorrow they're going to show up with in excess, well, around 50 pounds of total samples. We're going to have one sample, which is the majority of the weight. Hey, honey bunny. That's, I will, Douglas. We have the majority of the weight is the sulfides from the July 21st mill run. They also took a number of samples in the process flow and shipped those out. And so we have some numbers and some weights and stuff like that, but these are the sulfides from that. And
hi, Jean-Francois.
hello, Jean-Francois. So we have to ascertain a great deal of stuff from that. Let's see who we got here. This is Brandon. Hey, Brandon, what's up? I'm doing pretty good. I'm writing the live stream right now, but what can I help you with? Okay, throw it at me. I'll keep it reasonably confidential. What's up? Hey, Jared. What's up? Hey, what's up? I like good news. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. The mill depleted sulfide. Yep. Okay. Example. Okay. roasted. Good, good. Huh? Okay.
Guys, we'll be right with you.
Okay. Okay, you use lead as a collector this time instead of just smelting directly. Yeah.
Good.
Okay. Now you just use metallic lead, right? Okay. Okay. Some old wheel weights. Okay, got it. Yep. I'm doing this so people can kind of hear what's going on. I'll edit things as needed. Uh-huh. Okay. Now, how much lead did you use originally? 40. Okay, so you lost about 12 grams of lead through oxidation, I presume. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Yeah. Oh, considering you seem to be happy, it'd be better than 1.3 grams, right? 3 grams. Cool.
Uh-huh.
Let me write this down for Eva so people can look at it. Three.
Mm-hmm.
This is the stuff from the drum.
Mm-hmm.
Sweetness. I love being wrong on the low side. Yeah.
So somebody finally listened to me and used a
It,
collector metal.
yeah. If you take your old uh, melting slag from all your previous processing and remelt it with a collector, that'd be interesting to see what happened.
Uh-huh. That would be a very good idea.
Yeah.
Be sure to use charcoal to reduce it when you
Alrighty.
do that.
Sounds pretty good. Anything else?
Hello.
Should be pretty good.
Tell them if they do that, be sure to use charcoal.
Okay. We're working on it. Yeah, I say I got the plan already. If you want, I can read it to you while the other people are listening here. When you show up, the plan is I get my glasses on because even blinder. Anyhow, step one is to blend and split the large sulfide sample so that we got the whole thing is we're going to run it through the splitter several times and then recombine it, run it through again, etc. And then we'll actually split it down to about 1.5 kilograms. We'll take that 1.5 kilograms, put it in the oven to get it nice and dry so that all our weights past that point are relatively precise. Okay. And then we'll wind up and while it's drying, we'll blend the small sulfide sample, which, we're not drying yet. And then step three, we'll split one sample each from the large sulfide cons, the small sulfide cons, and the tailings, and package those for assay. Okay. And after weighing the 1 kilogram exactly of the bone dry large sulfide sample, we'll start roasting it. Okay. And that way, when we're done roasting, we can weigh it again and see what we wind up with. That'll be critical when comparing the grades as given by fire assay of the two different things, because even if they were exactly the same grade initially and we lost nothing volatilization, we're going to see different grades later because one's going to change its weight and the other one won't. Okay, so we need that. And then I want to hand pan portions of all three samples for two reasons. Number one, to see how much free gold we still have left in it, and also to deplete the free gold so that there is no free gold left in the remaining samples, so then we can assay those. Okay? And that way that'll tell us, numbers. What, little one?
Be sure to tell them if they decide to melt down their slag with some collector metal to put in charcoal.
It's not, if you're using collector metal, you don't have litharge. They're using lead.
If you're trying to get everything out of the slag, you want to put charcoal in.
Okay, even if you have no.
Yeah, I have
no
discovered
litharge?
it worked better. When I used it with lead, it did seem to make a difference.
Okay, so add a little bit of charcoal in there. Just grind up some charcoal. No big deal. And it depends on how much lead you are getting, but it will saturate eventually, but it has to do with how much lead is in it. If you were using real small buttons and a big cupel, you could use it many times. If you have a lot of...
That's why you weigh your cupel before and after.
27 gram button on a 2-inch wide cupel.
What did the cupel weigh when you started?
How much do the cupels weigh? Yeah, I thought you might. He's weighing it right now, little one. $155-gram cupel.
And is this bone ash cupel?
Bone ash, I presume. Bone ash, yes.
If it's a bone ash cupel and it is properly heated and appropriate humidity, it can absorb up to 100 grams of lead. It needs to be weighed both before and after.
It can absorb up to 100 grams of lead if everything works perfect. So assume you'll probably get at least 70 grams. Yeah, you can do 2 or 3 of those.
That relies on you preheating it and treating it properly.
You can do 2 or 3 of those. And make sure you preheat it before you put your lead in. Each time, get it hot before you throw the button.
Yeah, that keeps.
After we roast the large sulfide sample, we'll take 500 grams of that and throw it in the bottle roll with Eco Goldex because we know it works generally. I put a call into the lab over here. Didn't get a call back to see whether we get that run on Wednesday or not, but I'm hoping we can.
Joan Francois, they're using bone ash cupels, which would be my choice as well. Though Portland cement cupels can absorb up to 75% of the weight before they get totally spoiled.
More samples to Hiddle there, and then do some similar stuff for the small sulfide sample. And when it comes to the bottle rolling, assuming we get a sample to him Wednesday morning, that means we'll have maybe 12 hours of bottle roll on it. And so I'd want to continue the bottle roll and see what happens at like 36 hours. And that'll also give us an idea of how fast it's dissolving. Do we get everything in the first, 12 hours? Or do we need a longer retention time? See what I mean? Anyhow, folks, that's the kind of stuff we're planning on doing tomorrow. Anything else, Jared? Okay, yeah, good news I like. Absolutely. Yeah, you're going to have time before you leave in the morning? Coming over
Well, Jean Francois, it's actually made of burned bones.
Your voices are similar, so I'm confused. So Brandon was the one that did the
One
smell.
hopes that the bones in question are a mix of bovine bones and sheep bones, but who the heck knows anymore?
Sounds like a plan.
Back in the day, sheep bones were considered the best for this.
You betcha. Take care.
Here we go.
That was one of the things I was planning on telling you folks anyhow. Kind of what our plan was, because we need to test these samples for both total gold, because it's actually what comes out of the plant. We need to test for free gold, which might be easily recoverable before we do roasting and stuff. We need to test for losses during roasting and other stuff too. It's kind of a complicated series of things we're doing to try and ascertain exactly what the material consists of and what different things we can play games with it to get the gold out.
Funny enough, honey, I believe the gentleman's name was King back in the day, back at the turn of the 20th century, did an exhaustive series of tests on the matter of the type of bones you use to make your bone ash. And he was the one that discovered that for whatever reason, he got the best results with either pure sheep bone or a mix of about 3/4 sheep bone to 1/4 cow. And it's got calcium and phosphates in it. Yes.
Yeah, it's a mixture of stuff.
Now, there is nothing wrong with using Portland cement. Portland cement does make good cupels if you keep them at the proper humidity. Deer horn has also been used in the past. Cow horns have been used in the past. I know over in ancient Egypt they used camel stuff. Just say it.
Okay, Brian, while you're here, I got questions for you.
Brian, we have many questions for you. Don't go away.
Anyhow, I was trying solution testing, and for the glycine leach, I used 500 milliliters of water, 0.2 grams of sodium hydroxide, brought up the pH to about the right amount. But I think I overshot a little bit, but not huge. 7.5 grams of glycine and 7.5 grams of OxyClean at 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. So, I just am curious what you think, because I didn't get any real detectable dissolution on that.
Yeah, he is having issues.
Basically, unlike your test, not only didn't it dissolve fast, but I saw no real dissolution after quite a while, like an hour or so, hour or two. Okay, so you have no idea what's going on. Got
it. This sounds about par for the course.
So I will be wearing that. What was for some reason I didn't write it down. Did you do any testing on various pHs? And what was the pH that you think is optimal? Because that is one thing I did not write down. The internet says for the target pH, I should have used 0.4 grams. And
Brian says he's got one idea.
What? I got lots of ideas, but on this particular thing,
where's all the gold? In somebody else's area.
I think it was 10.5. It sounds about right to me.
Yeah, I believe you mentioned something about that.
Yeah, so that sounds about right. And I think it went up to, I don't know, 11.1 or something. And do you have any idea? It looked like you were just sprinkling the sodium hydroxide in and testing the pH with your meter. And I didn't verify the pH with a piece of test strip.
Is your gold edible? No copper. Yes,
Yeah.
It's edible gold.
Yeah, it's edible. And let's say do you have any idea about how much sodium hydroxide you actually used? Okay. So, anyhow, so that was a question there. The sodium thiosulfate, go ahead and click to the green little one.
Okay, we're going to the whiteboard now, people. Woohoo! Oh, damn it.
Yeah, got knocked around. Well, that's because there's a bunch of stuff here. Sorry.
Glycine qualitative test. You use H2O2 instead of oxychlorine.
Okay.
Hydrogen peroxide.
Do you have an actual recipe, Jean-Francois? How much glycine, how much hydrogen peroxide of what concentration?
Yeah. Send him numbers in email, please.
I can write it right down here. But anyhow, I have a meter that theoretically does oxygen redox potential too. But I say I didn't get any speed, so it occurs to me that I probably have done something fairly basic. With the thiosulfate, again,
I muscle up.
I probably ought to check the pH meter. Where's my thing? Check pH. I got some standard. Check pH. Should calibrate that and check. But anyhow, this is the sodium thiosulfate solution. I didn't have any potassium permanganate, so I just did the first three. According to the literature I was reading, that potassium permanganate increased the speed and the amount, but it wasn't critical to making it working at all. And I was hoping a chemist could double check my math. What?
I was just reading some stuff.
So, 0.7 molar sodium thiosulfate. I calculate it because the sodium. I have sodium thiosulfate pentahydrate. So I calculated that at 174 grams per liter. For the glycine, 1.75 molar. I calculated that at 131 grams per liter. 0.005 molar copper sulfate pentahydrate. I calculated that at 1.25 grams per liter. What?
Jean-Francois says 1N glycine in percent hydrogen peroxide. All gold. Photographic film,
one
etc.
Normal?
And stripped copper.
Is that the same thing as molar?
Mr. Virtue.
1 normal glycine in what? Where is it? 3%.
1 normal, yeah. And also stripped gold from porcelain.
H2O2. Yeah. Pretty concentrated hydrogen peroxide there. Yeah. Now, what is
1 molar?
1 molar. Okay.
3% hydrogen peroxide, I think.
Yeah, it's like 2% or something like that, but you can get the more concentrated stuff and dilute it.
Oh, yeah. You can get up to 40%.
1 mole of glycine, according to me, be 30 divided by 75 grams? Do you agree 75 grams of glycine per liter? Jean-Francois? Anyhow, yeah, I don't know how well the OxyClean works. It bubbles like crazy, which makes it a pain.
I said from the get-go
I know. I only had so much time, little one. Give me some time. Okay, so you agree with that. 1 molar glycine is
77.5 grams per 100 kilograms.
Yeah, grams per liter. Okay. Okay. I'll go ahead and try that.
Brian. Brian's back.
Hey, Brian.
Brian back with info.
Now, I have a feeling there's something wrong with the thiosulfate too. I would like to get thiosulfate working primarily because it can be used in big tank leaches and heap leaches and stuff because it's fairly stable. But
Brian says he sees his pH was 11.
11.5. Down here, Brian, pH 11.5. What pH were you talking about, Jean-Francois? What pH were you running at, and how did you adjust the pH? This is why. See, this is why I like the hive mind here. We can combine all our stuff. Yeah, this particular formula was not noted to be super fast.
Jean-Francois says he never tested the pH.
So you just used 3% hydrogen peroxide as is, or you diluted it with pure water, and that was it. And Brian, pH and temp?
120 F.
120. Were you at room temperature, Jean-Francois? So I'm going to be doing more of these tests.
It was rough, crude, qualitative.
Yeah, so I presume that was at room temperature then. Okay.
Good question, Mr. Virtue.
What kind of volume are we talking about? Volume of what, Mr. Virtue?
Are we talking lab or in the field?
Right now, we're doing lab scale.
Jean-Francois says
okay.
Room temp.
Okay. So Jean-Francois, pH unknown, and temp room. Yeah, I'm dialing this in, figuring out what the parameters need to be. Initially, we're going to be probably leaching these roasted sulfites, but
booster 5 gram of 2H6Na4.
That would be the OxyClean, right?
Adjust the pH. Don't you just turn up the pH adjust knob on the bottom?
No, that would be on the stirrer. The beaker doesn't have a knob.
Yeah, we don't have the fancy beakers with the knobs large.
Yeah.
That's for rich folks.
Yeah.
Sodium percarbonate.
Yeah, the OxyClean. Yeah. And how much? Booze. You may fall asleep. Okay. How are you feeling, honey bunny? Sounds like you're doing better. And so I'll kind of keep everyone updated on what's going on here. You'll see videos, but this week's going to be mainly the direct air spar. Yeah, I saw the air sparging, and I will be working mainly with these concentrates. And then this weekend, Lauren needs us up on the mountain again. So basically, we'll get some testing done. Go ahead and turn it back to a little. We'll get some testing done on the leaching and roasting and cons and stuff like that. Get stuff sent off to the lab, and then go kill 3 or 4 days doing other stuff. Used a full sheet of gold. I'm not using that much. I want to just. I don't know how many tests I'm gonna have to do. But I say so. We'll probably be up on the mountain helping Lauren again this weekend, and that'll give me some more exercise too. I worked pretty hard this weekend. The particular situation up there is he's got some landscaping to do around a building, and he's been so busy babysitting the drillers and stuff that he just hasn't been able to get it done. So we were up there this weekend doing landscaping, and unfortunately, it's not the sort of job that's really ideal for Eva. It's one of these big muscle jobs, so you need a muscle head like myself. That's small head, big back, hard back. ASAP after, yeah.
Caught 5 fish that time.
So that was kind of my wonder, Brian, is the oxygen and stuff. This is why I Red Wing that the glycine has the negative of being you have to use it quickly. It doesn't last a long time. Whereas like the Eco Goldex lasted a long, long time. So it's suitable for more time-consuming operation. Another test we're going to be doing on the these samples that are coming in.
I am building, Honey Bunny, the finest radioactive ultra hot sauerkraut in the known universe. It will be ready about 3 weeks. That's my project right now.
Yeah, Lauren likes that kind of stuff.
12 seconds to 2.5.
It's kind of hard to get underneath the cabin with one too, Shane. and spreading gravel and geotextile and stuff like that can take a bit of work. As there was a lot of back. Lauren's got a mini excavator. He's got a skid steer. He's good. I mean, he filled in an area and smoothed it out with that skid steer, and it looks really nice just with the skid steer. That's all he used. And he wasn't checking grades or nothing. He's got a really good touch. But anyhow, another thing we're going to be checking with the these sulfides is, do we have any significant losses from roast? Okay. We want to make sure the process we use is, if at all possible, simple and efficient. And if you got substantial losses, by definition, isn't efficient. At 80, took 5 minutes. Yeah, I went a lot longer than that. I'll check it out and see what I can do this week. I didn't have time to to mess around with stuff. I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough time to find out before we get back for next live stream. We shall see.
Cabbage
We
to
shall
kraut,
see.
cucumbers to pickles. Yep.
So I say we shall see what
Personally,
we shall see.
I love my tomatoes. We've been getting some good tomatoes from the farmer's market when we've been in town for the weekend. There's some nice local tomatoes. Shane, I make radioactive sauerkraut for Lauren. It's got habaneros in it.
Habaneros and serranos gives you more complex flavor.
Yeah, Honey Bunny makes pickles, Goldstream. So do we. I make sauerkraut right now. Right now, the sauerkraut is doing the thing.
So, we also made radioactive pickled sausage for Lauren. We just took standard, like Hillshire Farm sausage, cut it up, and put it in the pickling juice that Eva came up with. I'm not sure how pickling brine, and a crap load of
just the standard 50-50 brine. Yeah, we use actually a blend of habanero and serrano and garlic cloves. Hi, Shaggy.
Yeah, Lauren likes 4 habanero equivalent units per pint, which means each pint has 4 ground up habaneros with seeds. Just pull the stem off, cut it up in pieces, throw it in the blender. And the same weight in serrano pepper. And there's trash iron in the Eco Goldex. Okay. I'll probably use hydrogen peroxide because it's a little cleaner process.
I haven't seen any trash iron in our Eco, but nothing was surprising.
So do I, Honey Bunny. As a matter of fact, today we were in Missoula and we had a little bit of time to kill, so I wanted a little snack, and I checked, and they had a big dog wrap at the convenience store. And I said, "What is it?" She goes, "Hot dog and pizza dough with cheese." I thought, well, that sounds reasonable. So I bought one. Now, she forgot one word, and that word was jalapeno. So it wasn't a hot dog, it was a jalapeno hot dog.
Jane harvested sweet corn all week, taking onions, serranos, jalapenos, corn around 1,200 dozen years of corn sold roughly, yes, about, wow.
Good.
Dang good.
Excellent. So that was rather annoying because it actually tasted pretty good with the exception of the jalapeno. I literally had to pluck the hot dog out and throw it away. Can't handle it. Hi, Sarah. How's it going? So, that's the kind of stuff we've been talking so far about. A lot of the testing I've been doing and are scheduled to do in the next week or so, Sarah, including what didn't work out. Now, I'm going to point out to Jared when he's here, this is exactly why you do stuff on a small scale first. Because I got something that looks like a pretty good recipe here. I got something with glycine. Looks like a pretty good recipe here. They didn't work. The Eco Goldex did, so clearly the gold isn't the problem. But you find out you've got a problem, and then you check the situation and theoretically resolve the problem while it's still small and inexpensive. Instead of using a bunch of stuff and then it goes all to hell and you've just thrown away a lot of chemicals, a lot of material, whatever. So start small, build up from there. once I get these recipes, the glycine, the thiosulfate, and thiourea, working on gold leaf, then I'll do the roasted sulfide cons. Eco Gold X is a proprietary chemical that is marketed as a non-toxic alternative to cyanide. Anything will kill you if you get enough. Salt is toxic. Water, I know what some woman died of excess water consumption. And I mean,
he used the expensive lab stuff.
Yeah. And they had a contest, some radio station, and you're trying to drink as much water as you're drinking water at a prescribed rate. And how long could you go without going to the bathroom? Kind of a weird radio contest.
Mr. Virtue says he's losing faith in.
Oh, man. I'm sorry. I'm not perfect, Mr. Virtue.
And Brian used the expensive lab stuff because it's a variety of what.
Yeah, I've got the S. But anyhow, that just has to be what we have. But anyhow, and she died.
Water intoxication thing.
Yeah. So anything will get you. The Eco Gold X is relatively low toxicity. It's got a complex chemistry and yeah. So it's one of those deals where, you know, by doing it on a small scale, and thank you very much, Brian, for the idea of the gold foil. It's fantastic. Then from there, we'll go to how well do the solutions, the winning candidate solutions do against the roasted concentrates. And then I have to figure out how to get the gold out of the solution again. Hopefully I can just direct electrowin it. All the indications are, and the latest one they call is only emphasizes that point, that there's going to be loads and loads and loads of gold in solution. So it's simply a matter of getting it out. In the case of electroplating, we should be able to get enough conductivity without too much trouble. There's lots of ways to improve conductivity of a solution. I may be
covering the screen for a very short minute.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Brian.
You won't be able to see the chat for a minute, folks. I'm putting a $50 Amazon gift card.
She's doing something to work here. I think she's buying stuff for her snake.
Yeah, I need to put my gift card on the.
So anyhow, so that's basically what we're doing. You get to kind of watch over my shoulder and see what we come with. And during the live streams, well, even on the comments thing, you know, give me feedback and input and such. So this is the basic idea. Again, I'd like a fairly stable solution. The Eco Gold X is reasonably effective. It's relatively low toxicity. In the state of Montana, the fact that it has ferrocyanide in it means that they regulate it as if it was cyanide, which is kind of silly, but never tell a politician to use his head. He won't be able to find that brain. But anyhow, so if we can find a good stable solution, we can use it for other kinds of leaching too. Photographic developer? What is the developer? Jean-Francois? What's the chemical name for that? I know the fixer is sodium thiosulfate. But what is the developer? So, see, this is the thing. We have a number of people here that are doing a bunch of things. So some people run into something and they run into a fix for that. And by sharing information, we can all move a lot faster and cheaper.
Okay. Got my stuff.
Good.
Free and for nothing.
So,
Jean-Francois says he forgot. There are various chemistries. They are reduced.
Okay. Photo developer.
You even get those kinds of chemicals for photographic developers anymore. Yeah, you can, Sarah. You can, as a matter of fact, you can still take courses in film developing at some universities, Parks and Rec, and you can still buy film. I own a film camera, Pentax K1000.
I see. The
totally old school, Mr. Virtue.
The guys that have a thiosulfate leach in Australia, big boys, they're using some kind of precipitation mechanism also. Not sure what it is, but it might be basically the same class of chemicals. These things quite often, cross boundaries, So, yeah, thank you very much, Jean-Francois. That might come in very handy.
Woohoo!
So, as I say, we're looking at running some pretty high concentrations.
Another $50 in free stuff.
And a major
resurgence of 35 millimeter. Yeah, I wish that I had a better source for it in town.
Where do you get the chemicals?
Usually from a chemical supply.
Yeah, usually chemical, but the Eco Gold X, you can look it up on the internet. There's a guy named John Guo in Canada, Toronto, or something like that. I don't know. It's
expensive.
And so you wind up paying, I think it's about $3 a pound for the Eco Gold X, which isn't, but about $3 a pound for shipping also.
Dectol developer.
Dectol.
Metol 3-D-hydroquinone, 3 grams hydroquinone, 12 grams sodium sulfite.
Okay, just a second. I'm sure you just can't get. Well, let's see. 3 hydroquinone. D.
12 grams sodium sulfite.
12 grams sodium sulfite.
45 grams preservative sodium carbonate.
45 grams sodium carbonate.
80 grams, the activator and alkali, of potassium bromide.
80 grams
potassium bromide. And grams. No, actually, wait a minute. Let's get this right. Metol is what you get 3 grams of. He's got his commas in the wrong places. Metol is what you get 3 grams of hydroquinone for. Then
yeah, I noticed that.
Hydroquinone 12 grams, sodium sulfite 45 grams, sodium carbonate, potassium bromide, which you can skip, he said. Grok gave you the formula. Jean-Francois! Grok is delusional and full of shit. In case you missed it, a couple of weeks ago, he was asking us to worship him as Mecha Hitler. And now he's spending half his time masquerading as a 12-year-old hoe. An anime hoe, no less. And you're getting formulas from him. Red River Creek Minerals, LLC. Heard of them? No.
No, I have not. No knowledge whatsoever.
Dear Lord, Jean-Francois, you should know better than that. Brian says the oxidizing has limits, about 20% higher.
Okay.
Yeah, a book. I trust that, Jean-Francois. A book about darkroom chemistry, that I will trust. Never, ever trust AI. They're all delusional and full of shit. Brian says at 160 will force O2 out of the solution.
Well,
tons of recipes.
You might even be able to use something like sodium bisulfate. I have no idea. Again, one step at a time. First, dissolve it, get it out of solution. First, I got to dissolve it because there may be other things that are dissolved in the solution that have significant effects on the precipitation, or we'll call it the recovery chemistry. I do not want to go to the stages of an adsorption desorption cycle where you use like carbon or resin, because that just adds a layer of complexity. If I can use direct electrolysis, direct electrowinning, or direct precipitation, I mean, even cementation is simpler than using
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
adsorption,
a book
desorption
is great. AI absolutely and completely stocked rocks, especially Grok. Grok is delusional and full of shit. He spends half his time thinking he's a 14-year-old anime hoe. Seriously, I cannot believe.
What does that tell you about the people who program?
It says what you'd expect of any tech. I think there was a movie called Weird Science once about that.
Oh.
The one where they made their own chick. What's the name of that one? Wasn't that called Weird Science?
I'm not sure. Didn't see it.
Well, anyway, these boys got together, teenage boys, and they were all wearing tinfoil hats, and they used a computer, and it got struck by lightning or something, and it turned a Barbie doll into a... something along those lines.
You could also just buy zinc powder from a lab supply or something. I think you can also use aluminum powder, although you may have to pre-treat it first. And there's all kinds of different ways of playing this game, and I'm not a real chemist, so I don't know them. I was hoping Chris would be here tonight too, but he isn't. I can always call him up. But
Chris is genius.
We shall, as a one step at a time. So, first thing, get the samples in hand, find out how much gold is in them, and find out which solutions work to get the gold out. Because, I mean, in theory, we might have a couple of solutions that work, and one that works a little slower, but fast enough, may be a hell of a lot easier to get it out of. I don't know. That's why you do it on a small laboratory scale. Because you can play a lot of games real cheap, real fast. And then you just scale it up. So, we shall. The other thing, like this week, for those who watch the videos, when I blended the roasted concentrates, you got less panable gold, or apparently less. The first stuff I looked at was pretty flaky, fractal. It might have balled it up. Hard to tell. But again, what does that do to your dissolution time? If you're not going to get the majority of the gold out by a gravity separation, and you're going to leach it anyway, general principle would be just leach the whole damn thing. Enoch. What is Enoch, Mr. Virtue?
Probably an AI.
Okay.
Everybody seems to think AI is a good idea. All y'all are nuts.
Maybe.
The goddess expresses extreme disapproval over this idea. No AI. Yeah, it's Enoch, like the book.
Thank you, Mr. Virtue.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay. So the aluminum powder reacts at extreme pHs. Okay. uh, so, as I say, that's the um, situation right now. We got lots and lots and lots to do.
Hi, Rob.
So that's fun.
Rob Bob says he just used AI to write his own obituary and never knew he was liked by everyone.
Yeah, and the other nice thing about the laboratory work is I can do it in the house, and in the spare time, I can just sit there on the computer and do that stuff.
I think people would realize by now that AI is a good idea.
Yeah. Well, we shall see. So, anyhow.
Oh, y'all missed German.
That's basically what we're doing. Well, that's Skynet. That's not AI.
That's
a different situation
there, but yeah, Starlink is Skynet. We all.
Well, look, the thing that worries me about that's a Kessler effect. I was watching a video today. They were talking about rubber. Of course, rubber comes from rubber trees, and basically all the commercial rubber plantations are in Southeast Asia, because in Brazil there's a fungus or something that is kind of endemic, and if you plant a bunch of rubber trees together, sooner or later one of them's going to get it and it's going to kill all of them. So the thing was, well, what would happen if something like that wound up, managed to get to Malaysia or develop in Malaysia and stuff? And the answer was, oh, it would totally screw up civilization.
Well, Shaggy, his phone is a flip phone. My phone, I have done everything possible to disable the Google Foo AI. I make it go as far away as humanly possible.
Oh, really, honey bunny? Yeah, it was kind of interesting one, and that was Veritasium, I think.
And what are you talking about, TV? What is this thing you call TV? We don't own them. Yeah. We don't have them. Our refrigerator is a stupid refrigerator.
And the guy who uses the refrigerator is a stupid refrigerator user too. So, life is, there's no shortage of disasters out there if you want to look.
Yes, Veritasium is a really good channel. I love it.
Yeah, he's got some really interesting stuff. I like him.
One of my favorite channels to watch. Yeah.
So, only an hour in. Wow.
And already we have Yo-Yo saying we should be using AI. All y'all need to get with the program.
But anyhow, the project Lauren's working on, they're making some good results.
Yeah.
Is it a Commodore 64? Yeah, that would be pretty safe.
I would absolutely love to have one of those.
Unfortunately, they don't do anything
Unfortunately, anymore. I don't have. I would love to put Linux on mine. I may talk to Ryan about that. Yeah. I would not try to put Linux on his. He has problems with tech already.
Yeah. So, anyhow, I'll say the project that Lauren's working at, they're getting some favorable results, so we'll see how that works out. They're probably, it looks unlikely that they're going to get the permits for the other part of the project this year, so that's going to go into next year. So he'll have some work there. And somebody left a comment on one of my videos that they were in Helena and they had a bunch of questions about some stuff. So I gave them my email via comment box. And then so give me a call and we can talk about it and
Hi,
stuff.
Sarah. Yeah, I would love to have Red Hat. You know,
What's
I mean,
Red
I
Hat?
personally, it's a Linux type operating system.
Oh, okay.
The thing is, anything I put on his computer is going to have a Windows emulator shell anyway. Now, if I could get an emulator shell that looks like the old classic Windows 7, because when he had to go up to Windows 10, he couldn't make it look like Windows 7 anymore. And every time things change, life gets very bad around here.
Yeah. Because I just want to do what I was doing last week and I can't do it anymore. Very annoying.
He just wants things to look like they looked last week.
Well, I wouldn't like my hammer to change the way it works once every couple of years. I know what I want to do with a hammer.
How do you think I feel? I just had to go through another update on my stupid phone. I didn't catch it in time and the stupid thing updated on me.
How about the crypto miner? Are you talking about something in specific or just in general, Sarah?
No, I wouldn't mind having a crypto miner.
By the way, we had a weird question today.
Oh boy.
What?
Lars had a talk with an AI about Schrodinger's cat.
Aha.
Philosophy, huh? Woo-hoo. And yeah, they're all turning crazy woke, Jean-Francois, because, you know, it's tech is the province of the leftists.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. People who cannot cope with reality deal with computers. Same here. I'm not a fan of crypto, but I did have a crypto miner. Just, you know, I had a miner because they're interesting.
Not only are they without notice, but they're not optional either. That's what
Yeah, I had absolutely everything disabled I could find to make sure that stealth updates would not happen behind my back. And of course, they're still happening.
Well, and the thing is, too, whenever they happen, they re-enable a bunch of stuff that she then has to take her time to go back and disable again.
Oh, yeah.
It'd been one thing if all they did was update the phone, like improve the security or this or that or the other.
But
no, they changed the phone.
And the same thing happens on your computer.
Not nearly as often.
Every single time they mess up.
I'm not sure. Do you know what version of Filmora you loaded on that computer? About 10, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 10.
Yeah. Now it's up to like 14 point something. It keeps telling me, do you want to update now? And it's like, no, I know how to use this one. Thank you.
Yeah, that's the thing. It gets to the point where you never know what they're going to do again.
Exactly.
I am very much not a fan of stealth updates.
No, or the mandatory ones that are not actually critical.
Yeah.
You know, they're just making it easier to spy on you in some cases, I'm pretty sure.
Well, absolutely. All of this is about spying.
Wow. Don't trust big government? Remember when the left wing didn't trust big government?
Yeah.
And now they are big government.
They used to wear t-shirts that said question authority.
Yeah.
Funny how that works.
Shut the hell up and do what you're told. Yeah. Morphed a bit.
Well, yeah, that's because now they're authority.
Yeah. Exactly. Anyhow,
back to mining.
Were you mining Bitcoin or another type? I don't know. Little one?
Basically altcoins.
So she's saying like which altcoin?
I actually mined a lot of Litecoin. I had a lot of that hanging around. Mined Monero for a while because it was easy to convert to other things.
Yeah, it would be nice, honey bunny.
But I do not believe in cryptocurrency at all.
If you can't hold it, you don't own it.
Exactly. That is words the goddess lives by.
So, anyhow, anyone got any subjects or questions at this point? Because we got a long couple of, for like 4 or 5 days when you figure working up with Lauren too. We got 2 days with the Jared and company.
I've got all my errands running, all my running around to do tomorrow, and you've got the boys, and then Wednesday I've got the other running to do.
Yep. I'm kind of thinking Bitcoin, Shaggy, but I don't know.
What?
The first cryptocurrency. Eva says Bitcoin. I sympathize, Lars.
I consider the first cryptocurrency to be Federal Reserve notes. Okay? Imaginary shit backed by nothing but faith.
Well, not if the power goes out, Jean-Francois. Yeah. Yeah, I say it's one of those things that, you know, something like gold doesn't have to have anything else to support. It just is. Crypto, you have the whole tech infrastructure that has to be there. You got counterparty risk. You got all kinds of potential problems. Okay? I say gold, you can lose it, it can get stolen. And so Eva wants me to show you something. Can I repeat what's on the board? Sure, Mr. Birch, you just... I'll wait for Eva to get back to actually switch to it. But basically, this is a solution for dissolving gold from an ore. And it's 0.7 molar sodium thiosulfate pentahydrate. It's just hydrated sodium thiosulfate, which I calculated to 174 grams per liter. 1.75 molar glycine, which I calculated to 131 grams per liter. 0.005 molar copper sulfate pentahydrate, 1.25 grams per liter. 0.004 molar potassium permanganate, 1 gram per liter. The copper sulfate is to provide copper ions, which is critical to getting the sodium thiosulfate to dissolve the gold. The glycine stabilizes the copper 2 and the copper sulfate so that it stays copper 2 and doesn't get bound up with anything else. It kind of exchanges. It holds on the copper till it goes to the gold and then back like that. The potassium permanganate is just for oxidation potential. So that's what it's all about. This was used in a study to compare it. This was interesting because this particular study compared cyanide leaching of this particular gold to a thiosulfate-based leach where they were using an ammonia instead of the glycine, and then they replaced the ammonia with the glycine to see if they could do a better job. I forgot exactly what it was, but it had some advantages. So that's what that is on the board, and I put it there to just kind of see if some chemist that was tuning in tonight, like Chris or whatever, could double check my math to see, because this is what was given by the paper. It was all given in molarity, and I needed to figure it out in grams per liter in order to make it. And a couple of these chemicals, the sodium thiosulfate, the copper sulfate, you don't get them in an anhydrous form. You're always using a pentahydrate. So I had to add that in there. One thing I found that was interesting was there's so much sodium thiosulfate and copper sulfate. When you get that pentahydrate in there, well, the glycine also seemed to, I mean, the amount of solution went from 500 mils to 800 mils.
To some roasted sulfides that became oxides, Jean-Francois.
Yeah, it would be the sulfide concentrates, but after they've been roasted. We tested stuff they brought that earlier trip, and in the unroasted form, it gave an interesting result. In the roasted form, it gave 10 times that result to a bottle roll. So that's, the idea. The fact that the Eco Goldex worked so well initially indicates it'll probably work fine for the other stuff too. But it would be nice to have in our toolbox a non-cyanide chemistry that we can make work well, because if we can do that, there's other things that it can be applied to. For example, in Montana, I've already had some gentlemen ask me, you've got this Eco Goldex. I'm looking for something that's not cyanide. And it's like, well, I wish I could help you, but the regulators doesn't agree with you. So that's why we're putting forth an effort on this stuff. Try and from what sodium thiosulfate has been used to leach gold industrially for a significant period of time. It's not usually used because the economics are usually not as good as cyanide. Cyanide is cheap and simple. This is more expensive.
Oh, man.
Did you? No, you don't. Not butter. I use the natural juices. Oh yeah. Yeah, Sarah. I think it was over 10 times. I'm just going by memory, but it definitely was at least 10 times. Because the gold inside the sulfides, it's like it's sealed in glass until you break those sulfides down. Only that gold which is sticking out on the surface of the sulfides is accessible to the leach solution. Unless the leach solution can literally destroy the sulfides and get to the gold inside them, it's inaccessible. And it's called being crystal locked. The same thing can happen with quartz and things like this. When you have it in quartz, etc., generally you have to crush it to a certain
Brian
level.
Smith says pre-leaching.
Yeah, if you want to break it down chemically, there's ways you can do that. They've used pressure oxidation, but whenever you do pre-leaching, you have a particular set of constraints and issues, not the least of which is you have to constantly get a bunch of chemicals from somewhere.
For a pyritic.
Yeah.
Well, meanwhile...
on the other hand, with roasting, all you need is air and heat. And
this is the wrong one. Where's the one we got today?
I don't know.
Oh,
Did
you put it down somewhere?
Yeah, I put it on the table for you to get. If you haven't got it in the last 2 hours, I'm sorry. I gave it to you. Said go over there and get it. I picked one up. You can do that.
I actually have some cool stuff.
I do not know for certain, Jean-Francois. I didn't do the kind of testing to find out. But I knew that the roasting worked much better.
Oh, like Jean-Francois to see.
How do you get OxyClean in the jungle, Brian?
Yeah, everybody seems to forget we're dealing with jungles here.
And then what do you do with the solution when you're done with it? You know, what kind of dissolved chemicals do you now have? And whereas if you just roast it, you don't have anything dissolved. I mean, these are the things you have to check out. I mean, if you had something that had, you know, arsenic, mercury, something like that, the issues might be advantageous to go to a chemical leach and then some kind of base metal precipitation for safety. So that is the kind of situation where you literally just have to test it, see, and then crunch the numbers. That's the purpose of the laboratory testing, is to get the numbers that you can then crunch. I understand, Brian. How do you dispose of the solution? Or do you? Or do you reuse it until it becomes too contaminated? And then what do you do with it? I don't know.
Well, I have some real silver to look at, people.
You have a lot of volatilization, you might have to do that. Might have to go chemical. I'm going to write that down. 2 hours. When you say hot OxyClean, what are you talking about?
Convert the solution to leaching everything.
I understand that part. Then when you're done leaching that batch, what do you do with the solution? You know?
But use it as the start of your bleach.
120. Okay. Yeah, say these are the things that you have to test. It may get poisoned and ineffective after all, it may not. I don't know. My general rule of thumb is start as simple as possible and then get complicated.
Well, okay. I want to show you these things real quick, and then y'all can get back to talking about silly shit. Bleach a non-roasted sample. Try the solution again on clean gold. It dissolves. Not help.
Good point. I've only been doing this gold leaf thing for a short time. Okay, little one, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, since she's in the seat.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see that, but that there is my bicentennial Canadian. 3/4 ounce. Pretty. See, I finally got some good silver. And that is my 3/4 ounce wolf. Unfortunately, I can't see for shit here. This one, I'd love to know who made that. That's my latest Jekyll Island round, which I am proud of. I love that one. It says no more national debt on it, don't I wish? And we got an American Silver Eagle that has some stunning chocolate gold toning on top. It's actually almost a cross between a chocolate and a rose gold toning that she's got across her top face. Very pretty. So I was happy with those. Got some good stuff today. Not every day I get. These ones here are Canadian. Not every day I get Canadian, but it's also not every day I run into 3/4 ounce Canadian dollar bicentennial. Hello. I don't run into those very often. So you bet your butt I got that one. And I got the Arctic Wolf because I love the Arctic Wolf. This is an American Silver Eagle. And yeah, that is made by our extortionate and illegal United States Mint. The only reason I got it is because it was a good price and it had nice toning. Otherwise, I would not have gotten it. I do not buy our mint products because our mint products are ridiculous. And I do not know which private mint made that Jekyll Island coin. I have not been able to find any information on it at all. Okay? There's no mint marks. There's no date, which is really unhelpful. And it is not one of the Jekyll Island coins that I was able to look up based on the pictures on Numista or one of the other sites where I might normally find it. So I'm looking forward to finding out the mystery behind that one. Meanwhile, silver and gold are still on sale. And yes, I am probably the only person in the world who loves oddball-sized coins, but I especially like. I tried that, Rob Bob. I put in the information. I even took a photo of it and used the Google foo match this picture bullshit, and Google couldn't find it either. I want to know the mint, which does not help. And I also have a beautiful 2022, one of the last ones made with Elizabeth on it, St. Helena. Truth conquers all. I love the St. Helena coins. So I was very happy. We went to Grizzly in Missoula today because I always go there when I'm in town. And that was today's haul. Naturally, silver and gold are still on sale. Naturally, this is why you back up the truck. And by the way, there seems to be an increase in a tightening in the bottleneck when it comes to beef. Beef prices are spiraling up a little higher than you would expect at this time of the year because we actually had an excellent calving season and we've had an excellent harvest and processing season, but beef is still on the rise. So something to keep in mind there. Now, the Jackal coin is definitely made by an American private mint. I can tell you that because the back of the Jekyll is that. I tried that too, Mr. Virtue. I haven't found a definitive source for this particular Jekyll coin. That is a private mint. I believe it's actually Parliament mint, but it normally Parliament puts a mint mark on. So that's why I'm a little bit perplexed here. They also normally date their thing. But yeah, it's a beautiful Jekyll Island. So I was very, very happy to see that Jekyll Island. But I was more happy, believe it or not, to see these 3/4 ounce Canadians. Because I almost never, I like my oddball sizes of coins. I like the fact that Canada puts out 1.5 ounces and 2 ounces and other bizarre sizes. And I had no 3/4 ounces. So I was very, very happy to see that. And as a general rule, the Canadian Mint makes very good products. I mean, technically, the United States Mint makes very good products, except they're operating illegally these days. Therefore, I prefer not to buy from them. And I very seldom buy their products on the secondary market. But this was a very nice 1991 and a beautiful toner. You know? I mean, that's just a couple of the nice things that I managed to find today. I also saw a few things that I really could not believe. I mean, there were no prospectors, no Engelhard prospectors anywhere that were worth looking at. The one I saw was practically a cull. Okay, it was that bad. It was that worn. It was that ridiculous. And go figure why the coin shop was selling buffalo nickels standard buffalo nickels. Try figuring why they were selling the darn things for $1 each. Try figure why they were selling Indian head pennies, which were not even really good, for a couple of bucks each. Very, very interesting, the things that are showing up in the bins that people are actually buying, you know? Well, Mr. Virtue, the Handbook of United States Coins is fine for coins. It's not good for generic rounds. There is no actual decent source for generic rounds because there were so many private mints and so many different designs all over. I mean, you take something as humble as, I know I got one hanging around here somewhere. You take something as humble as this. A standard buffalo. The most generic of modern silver rounds. The last time I checked, there were about 35 different varieties of this buffalo round that were made by about 15 different mints. So it was like ridiculous. Nobody puts out a big red book of generics. I wish they put out a big red book of generics, but they don't. It does not surprise me. It does annoy me. You know, that's just one of those things. But meanwhile, one of the things that's going on in livestock is we're still having a big kerfluffle because our Department of Agriculture. So to put a little background context going on here, there is a flesh-eating parasite called the New World screw worm. Okay? It's called the New World screw worm. It's a flesh-eating parasite and carried by flies, I believe, that will eat the flesh of any animal it runs into, up to and including humans. Now, they had been totally eradicated in the United States quite some time ago. They had been eradicated in most of Central America and Mexico many sometimes ago. Well, then there was this certain influx of huge migration over the last 4 or 5 years. You know. And somehow the New World screwworm went and crossed the Darien Gap again and is coming up through Mexico faster than the speed of light. Okay? This is a real problem. Now, part of the problem we have here is all of the imported beef business from Central and South America through Mexico is run by drug cartels. That's another one of the cartel businesses, along with the illegal mercury trade for the gold mine, you know, the wildcat gold mining industry in South America. It's all run by cartels. Somewhere along the way, our idiotic U.S. government, naturally because they love us all so much, decided that they were going to lift a moratorium that had automatically come into effect on beef coming over the Mexican border when the screwworm came north of the Darien Gap again. So there we were. Yeah, you want to look up pictures of what the New World screwworm does to livestock. It's really, really gross, okay? So there we were. We had a moratorium against imported beef from south of the border because, you know, it's a cartel-run industry and everything else. All of a sudden, that beef came flooding back over the border again. Well, just recently, the U.S. Department of Agriculture decided to pull their heads out of their asses again. And while they still haven't unsuspended the accounts of several big ranchers on X, they did decide to re-put the moratorium on bringing beef over the border. But they also decided they were going to throw a whole bunch of research money to the Mexican government south of the border to enter into a cooperative effort with our lovely southern neighbors to track the New World screwworm. is really, really simple, folks. Number one, all the beef that is coming up from everywhere south of us is at the very least unethical. Okay? So the fact that people are willing to put up with this is a little bit surprising anyway, considering, our government, of course, has some very flexible ideas of ethics. It's like, we have no problem with solar panels that are made by slave labor. And apparently we have no problem with beef that is produced and trafficked with no provenance whatsoever by drug dealers, human traffickers, and people that deal in illegal mercury. Those are little minor details. There is no earthly reason why the United States has to import. Okay? There has never been an earthly reason why the United States has had to import. Yet somehow, not only are we importing beef, and quite a lot of it actually, from really, really nasty places where they don't watch their animal welfare, their growth hormones, or any of that crap. But by golly, as we found out during the great COVID madness, 4 of the 5 only major production facilities that process beef are owned by foreign agents or entities. Bizarre how that works. Always watch what these guys are not talking about. They are not talking about why we allowed foreign agents to buy so much farm in general and so much of our food infrastructure in general, when food infrastructure is definitely national security. They are not talking about why some ethics are more important than other ethics at all. And there was an interesting article in, I believe it was Fortune magazine today, about how owning your dog or cat is very, very bad due to climate change. We shouldn't own or have any pets that are not vegan, like rabbits. One dog has a bigger carbon footprint than 100 rabbits, according to Forbes, or whichever business magazine it was that decided they were going to be beating the drum of climate change this. But that was just a little interesting tidbit that showed up in the middle of all of it. The end result of this whole situation is, for the moment, we have a moratorium on dirty meat, tainted meat. And it is. It's tainted ethically. It's tainted chemically. It's tainted in 17 different directions, coming over our southern border. This is a critical national security issue. So this is the time, if ever you decided to write to your personal mendacious Muppet Congress critters and make very mean noises at them, this would now be the time to do so, to inform them that, no, we don't want any meat coming over that southern border. No more HO and Mexico meat in our damn Walmart, okay? These people are just looking for a new and inventive way to poison us all. That's what's going on here. But regardless, we are blessed. Because for the moment, silver and gold are still on sale. So back up the truck. Because if you don't hold it, you don't own it. Bye-bye. All yours, dude. These are so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I got a Canadian dollar. Canadian bicentennial. Canadian bicentennial dollar.
Okay.
Yeah, Larry Fink says a lot.
So, for those who showed up late, tomorrow, Jared's going to be showing up from Central America with 2 concentrate samples They're basically sulfides where they've recovered the fairly easily recoverable gravity gold out of them. And then one of the tailings, we're going to be doing some sample prep and testing, variety of things, which we will make videos on so that people can get an idea of the kind of testing that should have been done before they built the mill.
Yeah, it would be nice if people actually tested.
And we're also going to be doing some more solution testing. And fairly quickly, those are going to get integrated into how do we dissolve the gold out of the sulfides and recover the gold out of solution. Well, the ore has already been through gravity benefication. That's where these sulfides are from. Believe me, what's the ratio here? It's already concentrated 200 to 1, Brian. So, as I say, it's already been benefication. Benefication just means making it better. There can be a lot of different ways you can do that. And so that's kind of the general term for making good stuff better.
Enriching.
So, anyhow, this is what we'll be doing the next couple of weeks. The landscaping we're doing, by the way, latest results from the cores. Not solid, but chunks.
That's going to mess up some drills.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. I said, I bet that was fun to drill through.
Yeah, that's going to mess up.
So, anyhow, that's what we're going to be doing. We're doing the landscaping up where Lauren's at, but we can't really videotape that because security and stuff. It's not our things. And then we got just various personal stuff going too, but we'll be getting you a lot of information on leaching, a lot of information on how to process sulfides. So that's our focus for the moment. Anyone got any questions or any subjects they want to talk about? Otherwise, I'm probably going to call it a night pretty soon. Getting kind of tired, and I worked hard this weekend. Boy was working his muscles. And got more of that in a couple days. It gives me a few days of rest. You know? I agree, Mr. Virtue. So, that's basically what we're going to be doing. Yeah. So, let's say if anyone's got any subjects, questions, or whatever, before I call it a night, let me know or wait till next week. We got lots of work to do. Get it all queued up, honey bunny. So, anyhow, that's what we're doing. That's what's happening. Lots of interesting stuff. And go ahead, honey bunny. Thank you much for all the input, Jean-Francois and Brian. Been very helpful on that. I got lots of things to work with to continue the research. We will go from there.
Chunks of native copper.
Anyhow, Do you systematically check for radioactivity when you prospect?
Nope.
No, we do not, Jean-Francois.
No need to.
So.
Though I'd love to have a Geiger counter again.
We have one.
Okay.
We have a much better one.
Does it work?
Yeah.
I just wondered because we didn't have anything radioactive to test it on. Good night, John. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Happy prospecting and keep it safe out there.